Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is JustKa, and we are going through the wonderful game of A Plague Tale Innocence. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. If you don't like it, you can fuck off to a new video. Let's get into it, guys.
Look, Monsieur.
I'm coming.
Okay, so we were last seen murdering a dude who, in fairness, was trying to murder us. But, you know,
We are way out.
we murdered a guy. Misia's pretty upset about it.
Whoa.
Hugo is still a 5-year-old boy, oblivious to
Why
everything.
are there candles?
The candles are to show that you're thinking of someone.
Oh, can I light one?
If you want to. Don't burn yourself.
Thank you. For Mummy and Daddy.
So, topics
What
for
children?
discussion in this video obviously are going to include all the little nooks, crannies, objects, basically, things of that matter. Of course, I'll be throwing in any little history facts that I find interesting, because why the fuck not? And then any other bullshit comments that I want to address, because
There's an
again,
echo.
this is my
Hello!
fucking channel.
Hugo,
This is
there
my
might be people
video.
here.
Oh,
Just saying. Anyway, so we're really not going to spend a whole lot of time in this particular area. There are a lot of things to pick up, like items. We get the scene right here.
Forgive me for the evil I have just committed. I never...
Amicia, you're really squeezing me.
Sorry.
Okay, so that right there, if y'all don't know, that is someone doing basically penance, and we will talk about penance in a bit. So when you first enter the church, to the right of the altar is this
Oh,
table
a necklace.
with a necklace.
It's a
This is
rosary.
going to be
What's it?
our one and only gift. In this episode, we have one for Hugo's Herbarium, Woot Whoop, our first plant collection for this
Praying.
game. We also have the gift, which I just described was the rosary, and we also have 2 curiosities in this episode to find. After you've collected everything in this church, you know, and yes, this does not open.
Barricade.
Why have
It's still fun to interact with
Stop
things that
someone
don't
from getting
open, just
in
because
or
I like
out.
hearing the different dialogues between the characters. But basically, after you pretty much have collected everything in this church, or excuse me, monastery, we'll get to that. After you've collected everything in this monastery, you're going to climb up the ladder, because
Come
there's
on,
nowhere
get up
else to
there.
go.
I hope it doesn't break like the other one.
It won't, Hugo. Trust me.
Amicia, there's someone there.
Children, what are you doing here?
Father! We need help!
Leave! It's dangerous. You have no business being here.
Wait! Please! It's important! We should go and talk to him.
Okay, so that character, Father Thomas, is actually a monk. If we
It has to be him.
watch
It
the
has to be.
previous episode, Clary, I think that was her name, I can't
What's
remember.
going on here?
They're building bigger beds.
Basically told
think
us that the monks would know where Dr. Laurentius is, and that's who we're trying to find, because Hugo is sick / special. We will probably find out why Hugo is so special when we find Dr. Laurentius. However, I have a feeling we're not going to find him here. I mean, look at this place. This place is like fucking trashed. What the hell? This means we're probably going to get to some bullshit. Now, I am still on the hypothesis that we are dealing with zombies. However, just reminding myself,
I know that's not.
because I'm an idiot, that the Black Plague, even though it was caused by bacteria, however, the spread of the said disease was caused by rats. Now, I've already played through this episode 3 to 4 times for accuracy purposes, and I know it's not my zombie rats theory, unfortunately. However, I had a comment from one of my subscribers saying it's probably something demonic. I kind of like that theory. Maybe it's a demon. I don't like demons. I mean, if you've seen my vulgar vents, go check those out. I will leave a link up here in this corner. I fucking hate demons. I don't like demons. I don't like demon movies. I can't. I mean, I'll watch it if I'm going to do a review on it, but no. Okay, so our very first Hugo's Herbarium. So, luckily for us, it's not something we have to, like, be actively looking for. Hugo will just run right up to it, and boom, you've collected it. And he gives a little spiel on the plant, which is very cute. If we look around this courtyard right here, look at all these freaking graves. Like, again, we're about to get into some shit. This one wasn't even fucking finished. Like, the fuck? For this episode, there's a lot of stuff to pick up in the sense of, like, things to upgrade our sling. So if you didn't watch my last episode, we were introduced to the game mechanics of a workbench, and so the workbench just gives us the ability to upgrade our sling if we have all the proper materials to do so. So in this episode, there are a lot of things to pick up. So again, always be curious, not to just find the curiosities, but to also pick up stuff, so that way you have enough materials to update your slingshot. Again, what the fuck happened? Why did no one finish this person's grave? Like, Jesus. Anyway, let's press on.
Father.
You again. I told you to leave.
Just a moment.
You have no idea. Leave while you still can.
Please. Someone has to help us. Do it for him at least.
The Robert de Rune, coat of arms.
We are his children. We are looking for Laurentius, the doctor. Do you know him?
Yes, I know him. And I know he used to look after your family. He spoke of you. I am Father Thomas. Your presence here is not a good sign.
The Inquisition. They came and they...
I can imagine. But what is happening here is far worse. You must leave immediately, or you will die.
Father, the villagers wanted to kill us.
Oh, they're mad. Oh, Laurentius. No, I cannot leave the church, but an exit through the crypt of the Three Saints. It may not be too late. I shall try to put you on the path to Laurentius's farm, but after that, may God watch over you. All seems calm for the moment. Come. Above all, be sure to stay in the light.
Father, why are there crosses on the village doors? Is it really the plague?
It started with bites.
Okay, so when I got to here, I was still under the assumption that bites were talking about rats and that it was zombie rats. Obviously, I am completely wrong, and you'll see why in, you know, T-minus a minute and 6 seconds. If you get that reference, leave a comment. Anyways, I'm completely wrong, and oh my god. Yeah, I was just wrong, and you'll just fucking see why. Also, there's nothing in this room, so don't feel like you need to look at anything in this room. There's nothing. Just follow Father Thomas, you know, follow him all the way to the end, and you're just about to... Yeah. This next scene is not meant for children. So if you are a child, please go to another video, log off of this video. This channel ain't meant for children. Point blank, period. Okay, moving on.
Brother Morel should be here. We are the last two remaining. Brother Morel. Stay here. Brother Morel. Brother?
What is the matter? Father?
No.
No! Quick! The light! Father, no! The light!
Okay, when I first played through this, because I played through this like 4 or 5 times just to make sure I got everything, like, what the literal fuck? Like, what the fuck? Holy shit. The fuck? Okay, so it can't... There's no way that it is a zombie. Like literally ate it. What? What the hell? Like, I just, like... Oh, by the way, there's nothing in here. Keep pressing forward. I went to check. That's why I did this like 3-4 times, and there's nothing. Yeah, like they just like fucking ate him, and then they ate half of this guy. Like, was the other half not delicious? Like, the hell? The hell? Oh my god. Okay, so I don't think it's zombies, because if we're going with the zombie theory, then people would be coming back to life. Usually, I mean, again, depending on how many zombies there are compared to how much meat is left. But, I don't know, like, if that guy's been dead for a while, like he's literally half eaten, if he was a zombie, he would have came back alive right now. So, okay, the zombie, I feel like the zombie hypothesis is out. So, the demon one is starting to look a little good. However, they could be mutant rats. We could just keep this evolution scientific base. They could just be fucking mutant rats. Who the fuck knows? All I know is, like, why did you bitches not run to each other? What? Like, I feel like the old man maybe, like, might have had a limp, but, like, Misi was like, father, and, like, walking to him, like, dude, he not that she knew he was about to get fucking murked by rats. Let me rephrase that. Not murked. Eaten. Alive.
Up there, Amicia.
By
I
rats.
should be able to knock it down.
Gross side story commencing now. You've seen... I'm sure it's been in a
We can't do
few
anything
movies.
for
I
them
just
now.
can't think of any that comes to mind right now. Where they like as a form of torture, which is kind of disgusting, by the way. As a form of torture, they basically put like a rat on top of someone's stomach, and then they entrap the rat. So of course a rat is going to try and escape.
Climb up.
And what rats do when they try to escape is to basically bite their way out. And so that was a form of torture, basically rats eating people, eating through them, biting into their skin and intestines and all that. Anyway, that's, yeah, not child friendly. If you're a child, please go to another channel. This isn't the one for you. Okay, so we are about to get into our first curiosity in this room. I missed it the first few times
I'll go first.
because when you reopen it, it tells you how many, like when you restart a chapter, it tells you how many things, or excuse me, when you start a chapter, let's say I open the game again, it tells you how many things you're gonna find in this, in like the parts. So I missed it, and it's so easily missed because it's like hidden in this little area. So, you know, make sure you get there after you've knocked over the chandelier fire. You go in and get the brew. That is the first curiosity. Again, please make sure to collect any of the items that you see here. They will be used to update your sling. If you collect all the materials, you can update your sling twice, which I was able to do, which was pretty cool. Okay, so let's talk about the fathers, okay? So, in this game, again, because I like to look up the random history facts on it,
Too much noise.
I don't know if it's like historical inaccuracy. I'm not sure. Again, just like the little bit, it's not like I spent like months researching this topic, but just, you know, a few hours or so researching this topic. Oh, by the way, this is the first workbench. There will be another workbench in case you missed it. Remember, if you collect all of the random tools and, you know, pieces for your sling, you can upgrade your sling twice. Should be able to do that, whether you, update your sling once and update your equipment once. Anyways, so the fathers were monks, and they're not priests. However, they live in the church, which doesn't make sense because monks, you know, live in monasteries and priests and bishops live in church. But again, it could just be like, don't read too much into it, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I am because I fucking decided to look it up. Anyways, the difference, I guess what I want to try and say is like there's difference between a priest and a monk. So if you were a priest, you were able to perform sacraments such as reconciliation, which is basically absolving people from their sins. We will get to that later. You could also perform First Communion, let other people be priests, marry people, etc. Monks, they don't do that. They don't perform sacraments for other people, right? They would need to get a priest. If they wanted such services to happen, they would have to get a priest to come to their monastery and do so. However, monks are a little different. Some monasteries, you know, because the whole purpose of, I guess, being a monk is to live in solidarity, like a solitary lifestyle, and basically separate yourself from the outside world, and separate yourself from the outside world in a sense where you just don't practice regular things like, you know, you don't own a business, you don't get into politics, and you don't have a family, you know, you're to yourself, but you're in a community of people who are to themselves, which is kind of funny. But on another side to this, monasteries, monks had to be self-sustaining. So they basically, it's weird, they didn't have a business, but it is kind of a business, so like they basically provided services, and that is basically what would help them sustain themselves. So whether that, you know, their monastery provided services for housing schools, or, you know, libraries, farms, gardening, you know, I'm assuming for this monastery it would be for medicinal practices or alchemy,
What about you?
right? These are things that would be what would be provided. So yeah, those that's two big differences. This, I mean, what do monks though provide besides like these services? In the same way that, you know, a priest would, right? So obviously priests want to send the good word about God, etc., and so forth. Monks do that as well. The monks were very scholarly, so they had this free time to be scholars and educate themselves. Again, obviously it would depend on what they were self-sustaining their monastery for. So obviously in this sense, if this monastery was solely based on helping people feel better, you know, by cleaning them and disinfecting them, they would probably want to study up on, I'm assuming, you know, way back then this would be pretty like chemistry, basically. Your basic chemistry or more advanced chemistry. Obviously we have way more advanced practices of medicine in modern day times, but you know, for the 1300s, it's pretty cool. I mean, our first curiosity is brew, so like at this time period, alcohol was not used in the sense for pleasure in the sun, you know, it was mainly used to disinfect people, to clean. You know, again, grossness, plague, gross.
Quick now. Hugo! What's going on? Hugo! Talk to me! Come on! Come on! Hugo, are you alright?
Okay, so we are about to run into our last curiosity in this area. So what we need to do obviously is get to our brother, because we got separated from him. And so what we want to do is take it down all these fire chandeliers and, you know, get to him. Again, there's a lot of stuff to pick up, so make sure you pick all these things up so you can update your sling at the next workbench. Interesting enough, you know, as we progress through the game, it's clear that, you know, it's very clear how Alicia and Hugo did not have any sort of kind of relationship until, obviously, they were forced to, because both their parents got murdered. Again, I'm still thinking the mom might be alive, but that's just me. Anyways, I don't know. I don't know how one would be able to cope with that.
I shouldn't have left you alone.
Well, I guess we'll just see how that happens. Okay, the last curiosity is up this ladder. And it's going to be in the chest all the way over here to the right.
I know this drawing.
And it's a drawing. The Tabard of Crusades. And all of these things, when you grab them, you can always have access to them to look at them later. It's just really curious, you know, to see the things that you pick up. Obviously are in relation to the plague, but also in relation to people trying to ward off the plague, whether it is incense, trying to ward off the smell of death.
Follow me.
Yes.
I mean, one of the things that I was looking at, because in the last episode I know we talked about how, like, the fucking hypocrisy of looking towards basically witchcraft or sorcery, just superstitious things for warding off the plague, because at this point in time, when, again, part of what I was looking at, there was little, like, the faith in the church, the people who run church, right? Not the faith in God, but the faith in the church to help them beat this plague was in full-on decline. I mean, you had fucking people who thought, you know, priests were basically untouchable in the sense because they were, you know, men of God, and so if men of God are dying, then no one's untouchable. This plague is, like, really serious.
Yes.
It must be the work of God condemning them to death, you know, because of their sins and whatnot. So that was a thing. Alright, before I move on to this topic, this is the last workbench in this area, in this series, in this episode. God, I can't talk. And so again, you can either update your sling or update your equipment. I decided to update my ammunition because I want to be able to carry more than 6 racks. But that's just me. Anyways,
Go ahead. I'm right behind you.
one of the things that, like, I was looking into, because I was thinking at this time, like, I know it's the 1300s, but there had to have been, obviously, fucking scientists. You know, there had to have been scientists who were looking into this, or somebody in the medical field who were looking into this. So,
Yes, we've managed to
apparently at the University of
fine.
Paris,
Just
so
stay close.
the medical faculty at this point, who, by the way, were not really, they didn't really, you know, look at actual fucking people. You know, they weren't treating people. However, this is what they decided would be how
We're in the nest.
to avoid the plague. Flee as the plague approaches. Avoid exercise and bathing. Burn incense and carry flowers. Smell strong odors as from a latrine to overcome the plague vapors. And of course, everyone's personal favorite. Wear religious medals and papers with magic words like abracadabra. And those are just a few of the things that I found. Again, just wow. Wow.
We did it. We did it. We did it.
Amicia, I want to see Mommy. I don't want her to be dead.
You go.
I want her to come back.
Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of A Plague Tale Innocence. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any cool, interesting theories or any of your own historical facts you want to add in, I would really appreciate it, because let's get something straight here. Having conversations is always fucking fun. I don't know. That's just something to think about. Anyways, if you liked the video, please make sure to hit the like button. And if you enjoyed my fucking content and you want more of it, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And regardless if you fucking liked it or not, or whatever, you hate me, who gives a fuck, okay? I'm just gonna tell you to have a fucking wonderful day, and I'll see y'all in the next one.